Call the meeting to order. Today's Thursday, October 3rd, 2024, 6 p.m. Do we have any additions or deletions to the agenda?
I don't have anything.
Nothing? Okay. New business.
Should we do roll? Since there's a lot of people here, we may not know who's on the board.
Oh, we can?
Oh, sure.
Sure.
You can announce it.
Thank you.
I can announce everybody? All right.
Sure.
All right, we'll go from right to left. My right, yours left. We got Jeff Coda, Jeff Coburn, Seth Hoyt, Vice Chair, Tom Lowell, Chair, Lenny Zanonis, Board Member.
Are all of you on the zoning board?
Yes, we are the board.
I didn't know there was that many.
Well, this is unusual, everybody showed up.
Yeah. I'm usually not here.
Well, I was gonna say, years ago, there was only like 3.
Yeah.
We need alternates if you're looking to join.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, that's a good time to bring that up.
Yeah, you know. Okay, so we have a zoning violation appeal, parcel ID 122020006 for 6 Maple Street, Orleans, Vermont. Parcel owners are Ronald and Brian Pollock. Property is in violation of section 322 of the town's Barton bylaws. The zoning violation was appealed by the current occupant of the property, Thomas Wood. Any appeal for notice of zoning violations requires the DRB to act. And where did Sarah go?
She's right there. So what we're going to do is just open it up so anybody has any comments. Not that they'll be germane to the final wording of this board.
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you.
All right, can you, thank you. So what we're going to do is we're going to allow people that reside in that general area the opportunity to make a comment about how it's impacted them. Any comments that you make are simply as a courtesy by this board. They have no bearing on our final ruling. Does anybody understand that?
No, not at all.
Who said that?
I did.
What
state
did
your
you
name.
understand?
I didn't understand it. Nothing that said or done has any ruling on your decision.
Can we get your name first, sir?
Who are you?
I have a name.
Can you tell us?
None of your freaking business.
Then you don't get to speak.
Fuck you, I don't. This is an open meeting.
Listen, you keep it civil and you mind your tongue or we'll have you removed. How's that,
You
sir?
have me removed, I'll
That's right.
sue the fucking town.
Go
for
right ahead.
everything They got a little
If
bit
you're
more.
gonna keep that up, you can leave.
Bite me.
All right. I'm gonna call a recess, we'll call the police and have it removed.
Yes.
Unless you tell us you're gonna behave yourself. How do you wanna go?
I am behaving myself.
No, you won't.
Uh,
How do you wanna do this? Are you going to give us your word that you will conduct yourself in a civil manner?
I am in a civil manner.
One more outburst like that and we will have you removed.
The United States Constitution gives me the right to speak. One man's
Oh,
vulgarity is another man's speech.
All right,
So
does
suck it.
anybody have any?
Yep.
Right.
That's it.
I move
You're done.
that we
Bite me.
recess
No,
this
thanks.
meeting and have this gentleman removed. Can you pull the step, please?
Where's the?
There you go.
That's true.
Yeah, good evening. My name is Tom Lowell. I'm the Barton Town Constable. I was wondering if you could send a trooper to the Barton Town Clerk's office. We're trying to hold a public meeting. We have an unruly individual who refuses to leave. He will not give us his name. Tom Lowell. 802-323-3842. Black pants, plaid shirt, older gentleman, white hair, scraggly white beard. Just unruly. Just unruly.
He was abusive when he fell over. He's not playing.
Inside.
Crowded.
Thank you so much. Yeah, will do, yep. Thanks so much. Bye.
What they say?
He said she get hold of the trooper.
Okay. So while we're waiting for the trooper, I don't see any reason why people,
Yeah.
so we'll reconvene the meeting and we'll take public comment. So anyone want to make any comments?
Mr. Bullock.
My name's Dave Bullock. I'm a lifelong resident of the village of Orleans. I'm 68. I've lived my whole life there. My family, my folks before me, and myself have owned the property adjacent to the old commission sales where the barn situation is now for 70 plus years. I think like 76 years or something like that. In all the years that I was there, and my folks are there, and I was brought up there as a kid, I ended up buying the business in 80 and ran it till 98, we lost it in a fire. We had 20 rooms, we had a restaurant and all that. Not once did we have a complaint from anybody staying in our rooms, anybody at the restaurant, that there was a order issue coming from what was called the commission sale. We were partners. The commission sales owners were respectful to our needs, we were respectful to their needs, and they were just part of the community. What's happened now is just an amazing thing, where first it was just a little thing, a few animals out there, and by the way, there were never animals kept on this side of the barn. There was, once in a while, some animals were kept on the back side of the barn. If the commission sales maybe was holding a couple of animals waiting for the next commission sales, which was usually on Tuesday night in the early days, and I guess always was. What's happened now is that, I have that property there. There's no way I could sell that property. Now, I don't live right there, but I have no way I could sell that property now with what's going on. In fact, when I'm there mowing the lawn and trying taking care of it, it's amazing what's going on. I mean, it's almost like the quality of life of what we want in the village has been totally taken for granted. It's like whatever they want to do over there, they do. It was always, okay, let's be neighbors. I think we put up for it a long time, and it kept building and building, and now it's to the point where I own a house one street over from it and have for 37 years. And there are times when we can't even sit on the porch. If you want to have a cookout outside, it's like, and it's not happening tonight. The wind's coming, and you hear this from every neighbor in Orleans, what it's like. And so we're here to support the zoning board in what they're doing, because they are, whoever is at that commission sales right now is not doing the neighborhood thing. They could care less. And the stench is amazing. And so I'm here as part of the Village of Orleans resident to support what the zoning board is trying to do, because what's going on there was never done there before. I go back, the hotel that I own went back to 1833, took its major form in 1875. I believe that what is there now at one time was part of the hotel, where when people on stagecoaches were going from town to town, that's where they originally were bringing horses and stuff. Now probably expanded, that's how they took care of the stagecoaches and the horses and stuff, and it's kind of gone along. But as long as I've known that hotel there, that's never been an issue like what we're seeing. And it was never a farm, there was never a family making a living on farming and stuff. It was always commercial. It was, they were taking care of, they were doing their things. They were selling farmers' animals for them, and then they were gone. And so I'm here to support, as a landowner, bridge next to it, on how it's affecting my commercial property and how it's affecting my home in the Village of Orleans, to say, It's just not right. And so I applaud what the zoning board is doing.
Thank you, Mr. Wilbur. Is there anyone else? Who are you, sir?
Randy Smith. I live essentially next to it. I'm right by the Rainbow Apartments. And I can totally back up everything that Mr. Bowler has just said. We have a pool and a deck in the backyard. A third of the time in the summertime, we can't use our backyard. We can't use the pool. It is gotten because of the stench. It also, at times, my back enclosed porch, window porch, where I sit and watch TV at night. In the summertime, I don't open a window. I can't. It's impossible. I have pictures here, I'm sure you don't want to see them, where these animals have been in my backyard numerous times and totally destroyed my backyard. I have chased them out of there. Wanted to do other things, did not. I have chased them out of there, and I have gone face to face with Tom, and I've got nothing but belligerent response. I'm sick and tired of it, and rather than carry on here for another 5 or 10 minutes, I can just tell you that what David Bolick has said is the absolute truth. I've lived in my house for 44 years. Never in the last 4 or 5 years have I seen or smelled anything like this. It's, the people in the village of Orleans don't deserve it.
Thank you.
Well, the price of our property, that's another good one. Yeah, you can throw that down the drain.
Go for it.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Marty Wilson, and I live in Brownington, but my daughter Jamie Wilson, and her husband Sean, they live right across the street from Dave, so they're even a little bit closer. So on top of backing up everything that Dave and Mr. Smith said, I'd like to talk about the legal part of
We're not going to
things.
get into that. We just
Well,
wanna know
no,
how
just
it's
like a
done.
legal
Ma'am,
term.
We're not.
Okay.
We're not taking.
Okay, can I
We're
finish
just
my...
giving people an opportunity to express their concerns because they've never had a venue to do so.
Okay.
And we're just allowing that as a courtesy.
Okay, I used the wrong terminology. I shouldn't have said legal. Can I finish my thought?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So when I'm sure everybody's heard the terminology quiet enjoyment, right? And so like landlords have to adhere to that, right? When people sign a lease, quiet enjoyment. So it seems to me that residents, homeowners of the town should also be afforded quiet enjoyment. And what that means is that to be free of any kind of nuisance that compromises the quiet enjoyment of your home. And it most definitely, we try to sit out on the porch, we can't. She wants to wash a rug, hang it out, you can't. We sat out there one night and it was so bad, we went inside, it was a hot summer night, and when I got home, my clothes, we had to wash the clothes on our body because from that short amount of time, they picked up the stench. And I would also like to add one more thing. If we don't think that the quiet enjoyment is a problem, many people in the town have witnessed the animals being abused. I went into the North Country Federal Credit Union one day. The girls in there were so upset because the goats had no
Ma'am,
water.
Did you witness this yourself?
I did, yeah. So I walked over with,
I've seen it because I used to walk to work every day because I used to work at the credit union and I've seen it.
yeah,
Are you the one that lives involved?
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
All right, we're gonna have to move this.
Get one in the back.
I'm Lisa Davis. I live at 8 Maple Street, which is right on top of that barn. And I have seen with my own eyes him take his cane and beat those goats with it. Those goats can't even walk half the time. I witnessed two goats push up under another goat to get it up off the ground because it couldn't get off the ground itself. Not just the smell, but at 3 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning, the noises that come from that barn wake my entire household up. I have video of it. I posted it on Facebook. It is just, it's getting to be a nuisance. And isn't there a sound ordinance? Doesn't that go towards that at all? If I had my dog outside barking at 3 o'clock in the morning, people would be calling the cops on me.
And she'd be happy to play it for you if you want.
Right, so we move on.
One more comment.
I don't want to take up any more time, but I have noticed the animals being beaten as well.
Okay. So he's up.
Okay. Mr. Wood, you wanna voice your appeal to the?
Yes, we will start off with number one. Where is Byron Bennett?
Who?
Byron Bennett, the first zoning appeals officer that filed the appeal against Mr. Wood.
I don't know Byron Bennett.
You hired him as a zoning administrator on July 15th. Brian, I'm sorry, Brian Bennett.
He's not here because he's not the zoning.
Under the Constitution, on the Sixth Amendment, I have the legal right to face my accuser. Where is he?
This is the zoning administrator.
Right, I understand that, but you people abide by your zoning laws. The next question I have is with Sarah Bailey. Was this meeting legally posted?
Yes, it was posted in the paper for 15 days. That's following Vermont laws.
Yeah.
And I sent you a letter with a copy of it as just a courtesy so you would have that.
Okay. Was the particular date, time, and location posted?
Yes, it was.
Why then, back several weeks ago, did the appeals meeting at that property list the meeting being held on September 19th, not October 3rd?
I corrected it in 2 days.
No,
and
you
it
did
was
not correct it in
long
2 days.
before it needed to be posted. I actually did what I needed to do. It was posted for longer than 30 days out. So I actually went above and beyond what even the law requires.
Okay, now I read the minutes of your zoning board meeting back on September 15th, and you state that the hearing is going to be on October 6th.
And at that point, I may have. But again, that's just a clerical error. And again, I went above and beyond the
Okay.
law, and it was posted. It was posted in the village office. It was posted here in the town office, the village office in Orleans, and in the paper.
Was there ever a time posted with that hearing?
Yes,
No, there was not. You asked the town of Orleans to put the time on the hearing, and the post that's out front does not have a
I
time.
understand that, but in the paper, it was posted.
Okay? Now,
It was a clerical error.
just
on what was
recently,
correct.
you changed the sign again, and I'm totally confused because now the violation is on 6th Main Street.
There's a Main Street. You're the
I am-
is facing Main.
I am 6
understand
Maple
it's 6
Street.
Maple.
The violation is here on this, posted on my property.
I understand
It's
that.
for
That
6
was a
Main Street.
clerical error, but it.
Clerical or not, it's very confusing.
Was it posted?
No, it wasn't posted on Maple Street. I just.
No, I have the violation here, and it was just changed within the last week with the right time and the right date, but not the right address.
Oh, no.
I mean-
That was weeks and weeks and weeks ago.
Please,
I walked
I'm
over
there
to the property
24/7.
and you were there, and I have it recorded.
yes, the
so-
time I was there, we
Okay,
discussed
enough.
it. Whoa,
She has
I'm the
answered the
defendant.
question, she has answered your question.
No, she hasn't.
She did, didn't you just say that it was
Yes,
reposted correctly?
it was even so,
It's been changed 4 times.
no, it has not. I changed it once.
Okay, the question's been asked and answered.
No, I'm sorry.
Mr. Wood, we'd like to hear the reasons for your appeal.
Okay, number 2, I would like the zoning officer to read the violation that I've got.
Okay, so the violation, do you want me to read the paper copy of the violation letter that you received in the mail,
I
the
did
certified
copy and
letter?
bylaw copy.
Or would you like to read okay, I'll read the bylaws. So, section 322, livestock and pets. The raising or harboring of livestock or domestic animals for personal non-agricultural purposes, that is, not being part of an ongoing farming operation.
Okay,
or-
I asked to say stop right now.
Stop interrupting her, you asked her to read,
Okay,
and she's doing that.
okay,
All
go right
right,
ahead.
the rules are, please don't interrupt people when they're in mid-speech, okay? Thank you.
That is, not being part of an ongoing farming operation or enterprise for profit, whereby the majority of goods or food raised or produced are sold on the open market, including but not limited to horses, cattle, hogs, fowl, or fur-bearing animals, shall be subject to conditional use review within Barton and Orleans villages only. Such activities shall be permitted uses within the natural area, low-density, and medium-density zoning districts and prohibited in the high-density, mixed-use, industrial, and shoreland districts. Household pets are exempted from these provisions, provided that there are not more than 6 cats and/or dogs over 6 months old per dwelling unit. The minimum lot size under the section for this use shall be at least half an acre or more in size. The following limitations shall apply. Cattle, no more than 3 per half acre. Horses, no more than 3 per half acre. Hogs, no more than 4 per half acre. Goats, no more than 4 per half acre. Sheep, no more than 4 per half acre. Llamas or alpacas, no more than 3 per half acre. Poultry or fowl, no more than 12 per half acre. Ostriches and emus, no more than 3 per half acre. Deer, no more than 3 per half acre. Combination of species, except for fowl, no more than a total of 3 animals per half acre. And rabbits are no more than 10 per half acre. Under all circumstances, there shall be adequate provision for the shelter and care of animals. At all times, proper fencing shall be maintained so as to prevent the straying of animals onto adjacent properties, roads, and highways. Excessive amounts of manure and animal waste, which cannot be completely utilized by the property owner, shall not be allowed to accumulate on the property so as to have an adverse impact on the use of the adjacent properties and must be disposed of off-site. These regulations shall continue to apply as animals are sold, culled, slaughtered, or otherwise disposed of, regardless of when the property owner first started to acquire such animals.
Okay, who made the determination that I am raising these animals for non-agricultural purposes?
Mr. Wood, we're here to hear your appeal.
Right, this is part of my appeal. The violation that I'm in charge for doesn't pertain to a farming operation. It pertains for someone that raises them for personal, non-agricultural.
And that's part of your defense?
Part of it. Number 2, I have been a farmer for 58 years. I file a 1040F tax return, which clarifies me as a farmer in the state of Vermont agricultural laws. I am also on a farm, as clarified in the state of Vermont, to be an operation that produces $2,000 minimum per year income. The operator raises, harbors, and takes care of livestock, plants, or whatever it may be, and files a 1040F tax return on a minimum 4 acres. So I am a farmer, have been a farmer for 58 years. How anybody, that zoning bylaw, I'm not even part of it. I mean, you've taken a that bylaw only pertains to non-agricultural for pleasure raising animals. The next question I have my appeal is, everyone assumes that Mr. Wood arrived at Orleans at 6 Maple Street in 2016. Mr. Wood leased the Orleans Commission sale property in 2001 from the Sulia family. I was on the property raising livestock 5 years before zoning was even incorporated in the village of Orleans. No one has come to see me as to what's going on. I was immediately charged in violation. You hear in meetings have said that the Pollock family, who are my bankers, failed to provide proper notice of appeals. I informed the town that I was the power of attorney on such property, and evidently, is Brett Schaefer here this evening?
No, it's not.
See, because I have a conflict of interest because he had a financial gain on that property. He should never have been a part of a single hearing for that property because his real estate office handles the real estate transactions here. And I was forced to hire the town attorney with the time, Bill Davies, to handle it for me because there were things going on. But there is a conflict of interest with Mr. Schaefer, if he's point blank, because he gained a financial gain from that property on handling the transactions, number one. But the zoning bylaw that I am in violation of pertains only to someone that raises animals for pleasure, non-agricultural use. I have been raising animals there and in other farms in Orleans County for 25 years. I have been at Orleans Commission Sale Barn for 23 years, long before zoning took effect. I worked with Roland Sulia side by side when he stopped the auctions. He did his business with raising animals and taking care of them. I did mine. Under state statute, everyone claims that property is commercial. Title 6 of the Agricultural Laws, Chapter 63, auction barns, sales rings are agricultural. They are not commercial. You can interpret them the way you want them. I have farmed for a living.
Hold on. To you, sir?
Yeah, what about me?
Step outside with me, please.
So that, okay.
You can continue. You're good.
Okay, they sit there and we're looking at, we need clarification basically as to whether I am actually in violation. I'm not in violation because I'm not part of that zoning ordinance that I'm in violation of, because a farmer in the state of Vermont whose 50% of their income comes from agriculture and files a 1040-F tax return by the Internal Revenue is a farmer. I have done that for 58 years. How they can say I'm doing this for personal pleasure is beyond me. If it does, I spend $500 to $600 a week on feed. That's a pretty expensive habit. I have made my income for 58 years off of agriculture, from the day one that I started. I am not in violation of that law because I'm exempt from that law, because it doesn't pertain to me. That bylaw says non-agricultural use. I farm. I have farmed. I farmed on that property. I raised animals on that property. I also dealt cattle. When Roland Sulia was on that property, under the state statute, as long as he gave water to one of those cows that were in that barn waiting for an auction, that is considered production, which is part of farming, not commercial. As much as we want to think that the commission sales was a totally commercial venture, under state statutes, that auction barn was part of farming. And everyone wonders, well, it's always been an auction barn. The auction stopped in 1999. It didn't stop in 2016 when I purchased it. From 1999 to 2016, Roland Sulia basically, you will say, he farmed there. He did livestock business, but he kept animals there overnight and so forth, so they had to get water and feed. I did the same. Simple as can be. Under the statutes of the law, that is farming. As long as you harbor, raise, manage, or take care of livestock along with the, plants and so forth, but I keep ignoring that because that's not what's involved. That is considered livestock under the statutes of the law. Now, even if we go by that, you're saying I'm in violation of the zoning. The only thing I would be in violation of is non-conforming use of the current zoning laws. Because farming was allowed in those zoning laws prior to 2006. Simple as can be. That farm has been there since 1850. The commission sale barn was built in 1905. Granted, it was used by the Gallup and Stevens family for years as a sale barn also, because they used to, cattle were unloaded on the railroad, brought up, put out in the pastures, out in the field. They weren't strictly farm to farm. But under the right to farm laws in the state of Vermont, The commission sale can sell other farmers' products. It's still a farm operation for livestock. That violation does not pertain to me at all. And the right to farm law was developed in 1960 and incorporated in 1970 to prevent nuisance lawsuits from people that didn't like something next to them in agriculture. As plain as can be. And I can give you case documents if we need it to show this. I mean, I don't pertain. I have the right to raise livestock. I have the right by law to earn a living at my chosen profession. As plain as it can be. I have a challenge with the zoning administrative office the day she arrived at my property. She informed me that she was Sarah Bailey. She is now the zoning administrator. Brent Schaefer is all done, and she is in charge. And I said, okay. And then she went off the bat, turned around and said to me, I'm going to tell you right now, you're in violation of all the agricultural laws because you don't meet fence law violations, and your animals are out in the street causing grave harm to the village of Orleans. I will shut you down. That's a violation of the open meeting laws because she's now an official for the town of Barton, and she has no legal right to discuss that without an open public meeting. A personal private citizen can tell me what they want, but you as an elected official haven't got that right.
Mr. Wood,
Yeah,
I informed you that I could not respond to your questions because you had threatened to sue the town, and as a town employee...
when did I threaten to sue the town?
You came in the office and threatened to sue the town. So I informed you that I could not respond to your questions, but I did say, yes, your neighbors probably are a little frustrated because you brought up everything else. So I said your neighbors are probably a little frustrated about the animals being outside of the fence. That is part of the zoning. That is part of section 322. You're supposed to keep your animals in your fence. That's why I said
That's
that.
so they're out one
But
day.
I also said you needed to talk to your attorney, needs to talk to our attorney, and that I could no longer answer any of your questions.
Well, the problem
And
we
you
have with my
became very
attorney talking
upset.
is that my attorney was William Davis.
Mr.
He
Wood,
admitted there was a
Mr.
conflict
Wood,
of interest.
Please stick to the agenda. We're asking you what you're using for
I'm
your
trying to
appeal.
establish that this bylaw does not pertain to
Who
Mr.
would
Wood.
represent you is not germane to this. So, do you have anything else to present?
Yes.
To support your appeal?
Yes, I
Then
do.
move it along, please.
All right, as I'm saying, this bylaw does not pertain to what I do. I farm for a living. Farming is allowed, granted, is not allowed under the new zoning laws, which would only make me non-conforming to the current zoning laws. Non-conforming, pre-existing businesses are not exempt. In other words, they are grandfathered and allowed to continue. Also under the state statute, just because the Sawyer family sold the property to me, the sale of the property doesn't eliminate the current past ventures. In other words, if he sells the property,
Is he on the deed?
He is what?
Is he on the deed? Yeah.
No, he's not the owner.
I am the owner.
You are not on the deed.
I
I
don't-
have the deed.
The Pollock family are my bankers.
Mr.
I have full
Mr. Wood.
100% power of attorney on said property.
That's different. So,
Oh no,
if you are not going to present
I'm
evidence for
trying
your
to present
appeal,
that
and you
bylaw
intend to
illegal
digress, we're
as
going
pertains
to
to this
stop
project.
this meeting, okay? So, move it along, please.
What do you mean move it along?
Stick to the facts. That's
The
what
fact
we're
is that this bylaw does not pertain to Mr. Wood because I farm for an agricultural living. I don't do it for non-agricultural purposes.
And that's your defense.
That's partially my defense. And if I was in violation of the zoning laws of the Village of Orleans, the town of Barton, I am non-conforming. Non-conforming uses of a piece of property are allowed if they pre-existed before zoning.
Okay?
As plain as can be. That is the law.
Okay, you've already stated that.
Yeah.
What else?
I mean,
What else do you have, sir?
well, as I said, I challenged it. Brett Schaefer should not have been distributed. I also I have challenged the zoning officer because she threatened me by telling me she is going to shut me down. She is not the agricultural agent in charge of agricultural law. She was the zoning administrator.
Mr. Wood, I never used those words, nor
You
would
sure
I.
did.
I am very well versed in the law, and nor would I not have done that. In addition to that, I have it on recording.
I hope you do, because I want to
Okay,
hear that
Mr. Wood,
recording.
what else do you have for your appeal?
Right there, the bylaw does not.
Is there anything else, sir?
I've got a lot of things I can add here, but you don't want to hear them.
Well, I just want to hear what's germane.
These are
Not
all laws.
digressing and going off on tangents.
That, everyone says that Orleans commission sales,
Everyone says, okay, what do you have?
they say, your zoning board is saying that Orleans commission
Don't
sales
tell me
was,
what we're saying, tell me what you have for evidence.
may I say something? Why don't you keep quiet and let me speak?
Well, that's interesting you should say that. I wish you would stick to the fact.
I'm sticking to the fact.
And I wouldn't have.
The
to
zoning
interrupt
board
you.
says that that was a commercial venture. The state statute says that was a farming operation because selling the livestock is part of the farming operation. That business that's been there for 175 years was never listed actually as a, you may interpret it as being commercial because they sold livestock, but they also harbored and fed them, which is part of agriculture.
Okay, so this is directly from the state.
Yeah.
We have reviewed our records and do not have a farm determination letter that we have issued for 6 Maple Avenue, Orleans, Vermont. That is directly from the state.
As to what date are you talking there?
October 1st, 2024.
That
They have never issued
I've
a
never had
farming.
to have issue.
So to be declared a farm, the state issues you a letter declaring you a farm. Okay?
It's always.
And
Okay,
in
go ahead.
addition, the okay, so we have 3 different confirmations from the state that you are, they do not consider that a farm. It does fall under our zoning laws, and you are using it for a non-zoned purpose.
And you're abusing the hell out of your neighbors at the same time. All this
Okay,
legal
Mr.
stuff that you're
Mr. Bulldozer,
putting out
Mr.
there.
Bulldozer, please.
So they
Please don't
said,
engage.
farm
Okay.
determinations,
Yeah.
I'm quoting, please note that farm determinations are not a requirement of the state, but they are issued alongside farm structure determinations and variances.
Yeah.
And if you had one, they would have it on file, and they don't.
I spoke also with the Department of Agriculture multiple times. They called me again today.
Mr. Wood, that person is not here, and what you have to say that they said is hearsay, and we're not listening.
Okay,
to
no
it.
problem. That person's not here that she's talking about.
She's reading the
She's
letter.
reading the letter,
Do
okay.
you have a letter to read?
What, do you have anything else to present, sir?
Well,
Without revisiting what you've already stated?
I've got others, but you aren't even interested. I am saying
Yes,
that I
I
am
am,
not
yeah.
in violation of that law. How can you determine that I am raising these animals for non-agricultural purposes?
You've already stated that.
And-
Do you have anything else?
Sir, my name is Dolores Stoddard. He is trying to get you to pursue
Right, okay,
what you need to.
right.
If
I
you
am
could
saying,
if you could let that part go and move on, it would be appreciated.
I'm trying to move on. I'm saying that if you can insist that I'm in violation, I have been there prior to zoning.
Mr. Wood, we don't want to hear what we said you're in violation of. We want to hear why you are not in
I'm
violation.
trying to explain that.
No, you're not.
You keep interfering with me.
Well, if you don't, listen, I'm about ready to adjourn this hearing if you don't stick to the fact. What do you have to present?
I just basically, I was there in 2001,
You've already
5
stated
years
that.
before zoning
Right.
took effect.
Mr. Chairman, he is not presenting any further evidence. I move that
I'm not being allowed to
that
present
we have
further evidence.
Do you have a letter
this
from the
hearing.
Department of Ag?
Do I have a letter from
I'm
them? Not today.
Okay, but if you do have one, we'd like to see it.
Then I asked that this meeting be continued till I receive those.
We
Meeting is
are-
gonna be continued.
I move that we adjourn this particular hearing for this issue and reconvene with our decision next Thursday at 5 p.m.
Our next regular meeting day, right?
No,
That's before our next
it's
regular.
before this. I
Okay,
don't
next
want to
regular's
wait
2 weeks.
until it gives a chance to take everything that was said and we can reach a decision
Yep.
on that day.
Hearing a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, folks. Yes, sir.
Could I ask the zoning administrator a question?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Now, it states in here, and I understand it, I might not understand it right, but the refuse that comes from these animals have to be removed and brought to a separate site.
So, partially, like, it can't just build up and it just can't do that. And right now, it's not being removed
I
at
am
all.
allowed by statute to compost on site.
You can compost, yes, you also can compost carcasses. That is allowed, if you were in fact a farm. And so again, it is for, you are doing it for agricultural purposes. So, but yes, so the refuse is.
So what you're saying is that was never a farm from day one? No, please, I'm talking to the zoning
You're
administrator.
not engaging anymore.
Can I get clarification on the motion? Adjourn until next Thursday, at what time?
At 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
What's the date?
October 10th.
October 10th, for us to reconvene and make our decision.
Yep.
All right, yes, ma'am.
Sure.
When a property like this is transferred from one person to another through sales, do the zoning stay with that farm when it opened, or from when the person becomes owner of that property?
I just read your statute like
Mr. Wood,
So there's a.
I don't know how many
15-year
times I
look
have
back.
to say this to you.
Quite a few.
And.
Well, then I have to have you leave too if you don't behave yourself.
We're within the 2016, we've had that researched, we've had that looked into, and so normally there would be a 15-year look back. There is a 15-year look back, and no, he does not fall under that. So,
When was zoning established in Orleans, Vermont?
In this town of Barton, which you incorporates both
Right,
villages,
right.
I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. I've looked at it.
March 26th
1989?
of 2006.
Sorry?
Was it 1989?
No.
81?
2006 to March 16th.
We, honestly, I can't answer that question for you, I haven't been on the board that long. So we'd have to research that.
I have it here in documentation, sir.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna research it ourselves, thank you. Anything else, folks?
Mr. Royer?
Yes.
Dave Royer from Orleans. We built in 1969, and we had to go through all kinds of permits to build back then.
There was zoning
There was zoning then, because
I suspected there was something.
I used to raise beef and pigs and chickens and turkeys on my property. I got permission first. I had to have 3 acres of land, so my neighbors sold me part of his land so that I could have enough property to do so. And I never had an animal stink, took care of my animals. And I'm 80 years old, and I used to walk downtown every day because of my diabetes, I'm gonna be honest with you. I stopped doing that 2 years ago because I can't stand the smell anymore. Now, don't we have some rights as well as he does? I think we should. What about the taxes we pay? What about what we do? What about, you know, I pay one of the highest taxes in the village of Orleans, and I know that. And that's why I'm here. The only reason I'm here is I'm tired and sick and tired of always fighting. This little village we live in used to be wonderful. It's not wonderful anymore. You can't even go to the grocery store some days without the smell being right inside the store.
Yeah, could I just?
So,
Sure, sorry.
that's all I got to say. I don't have to say anymore. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sean Wigan, live with my wife Jamie on 21 East Street in Orleans. So I'm new to Vermont. I've lived in pretty much, I'm a Navy brat. And the other New England states I've lived in, every single one, they would not allow Mr. Wood's operation for health reasons, for one. And two, if there wasn't a pre-existing farm, the zoning board would have the right to change that for the health and safety of the public. So what is preventing the town from shutting him down now?
Due process. He's entitled to that, and that's what we're giving him now, and that's why we're having this hearing.
Yeah, okay.
And that's why I motioned to adjourn, and so that we can all take everything that was stated today, compare what we got, have our attorneys advise us too, and then we will make a decision next week.
Because what I was told when I moved to the area, there was a farm in a similar situation in the town of Lindenville, where they had to shut down the horse farm because the animals were being abused, the smells.
Different scenario, we have a criminal, this
Yep.
is not.
Okay.
And they have their own set of zoning bylaws
Yeah.
and we have ours, so.
Yeah, right.
A little different.
May I say something?
Of course.
Yes, ma'am.
Um,
Who are
I'm
you?
Mary Hoyt Wood, no relation to Mr. Wood. That's great. I was born and raised here in Orleans, gone for many years, but anyway. I work very close to the old commission sales, and I just want to be sure that everything, whatever the decision is made, that it's right down to the stinking letter where nothing else can be confused with it. And I work at the library.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'm very close to it. And there have been loose animals, but I know animals get out. But I just want to be sure that whatever happens is done and there's no more stink that can happen along with it.
In the future.
In the future, yeah.
Could I ask a question to Roland Sawyer? Sure. Roland, what year did the commission sales start as a commission sales and not a farm?
It's always been a livestock, commission sales, right from the start.
Was there, was there a dairy there? You in the past, did they have 50, 60 cows they
Father
milked?
did.
Back in the sixties, there was the end of it, late fifties and the sixties, there was a dairy barn in the back.
Yeah.
But that was only to house and milk before the sale.
So
But
the
they-
people
they-
prior to you
they would-
owned it as a sale also,
Yes.
okay?
Roland, I can help you there. My dad grew up around here and he lived at that commission sales upstairs. He used to work for the commission sales back in the, it was in the 30s, late 20s and early 30s. And I used to go there a lot, so I know all about that stuff. But so it's been for a long time if you want some help there.
It started out with a train, the animals used to come from Canada. There used to be probably 100 horses on it and probably only 15 or 20 cows, because everybody needed horses for the work and transportation, and they only needed one cow for their family milk and to raise a calf or something to eat.
Yep.
And it was dealer swap and trade, you know what I mean? And they came in, they got traded, and
When your
Yeah.
father bought the place, did he have to go through a business type of thing to establish what his purpose was to be there?
I can't answer that.
I'm gonna have to move this along. We've done that research, we understand.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
That's all gonna be part of whatever decision we reach.
Can I ask a question? Do we have a legal count on the number of animals on the property currently?
So WCEX reported to me that there's over 200, and that came directly from Mr. Wood.
All goats. And you can confirm that? You said over 200?
Sure can.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So it's not all goats, it's pigs as well?
It's goats, pigs, and sheep now. I used to have the livestock, cattle and so forth there, but I've had some major health issues. And we reduced the herd, and we suffered major devastation last year with the floods that would reduce the herds. I mean, we had far more than that was there. I mean, but I'm gonna challenge and contest, but you've adjourned the meeting, so there's no need of any discussion. Any discussion we're doing now is illegal. The meeting's been adjourned. You adjourned your meeting.
It's not illegal, we're just sitting here talking.
Well, you're answering questions that may be brought up as part of the meeting, and
We've already stated in the very beginning that this has no bearing on our decision. The only decision we're making is based upon established law. Nothing else, no comments.
I guess what's gonna happen, that's happening, is she was afraid that I'm gonna sue the village and the town of Barton Well, it will happen because I will ask a judge's decision.
Good for you. I only ask that you make sure they spell my name right.
I will.
So with that, we're gonna move on to old business.
Folks, we have other permits to hear.
We make sure everyone signs in, please.
If anybody hasn't signed in, please sign in before you leave.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Hey, can I make copies of this?
I missed you at the reunion.
We were in Sturgis.
I heard, yeah.
We had a good time. Hey, you know what? Next time we do one of those.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they're all taking it personal too. It's personal to everybody. Like,
I thought he was gonna have a stroke.
What about ZA?
She was just here.
I just saw both.
And who the hell was the other guy?
I don't know. Never got his name.
He don't know. He probably didn't sign in.
Suck me. You don't need to know.
Hey, Brad, you missed a good one. Or were you in there listening?
No, I was across the street.
Oh.
You still probably heard it.
Over there with the cop?
I'm sure you still heard it. Yeah.
You were across the street.
Going on to the next hearing?
We are. We're going on to the limelight.
So what?
Yes, we need you.
He's Wood, Tom Wood. So the guy that signed behind him is Tyler Houston, and oh yeah.
No, he didn't.
Me.
That's
me. Yeah, me. Organization, Disabled Veterans. Town of Residence, USA. That was it.
He's probably watched a few too many YouTube videos.
Yeah.
I think that's mine.
You have to sign something.
I thought it was mine.
What?
Too bad. A lot of money in here. You guys should have looked.
Well, I just took all the money out of there.
I didn't know it was yours. We're going across the street to the car now.
Yeah, she signed it.
So what we got now?
This one is for the sign
We've
for
got-
Limelight.
The limelight changing
I'm
use
so
such
sorry.
signage. Oh, sorry it took so long.
You got a show.
You had a hell of a show.
This is the, you wanna read this?
Yes, and then
I
the
read
sign,
it.
okay, so your mother told me, Maureen,
Our secretary, yeah.
your secretary, okay. 4 by 5, 4 feet by 5 feet was the size. She just threw a number out at me, but I don't know what size you.
I don't know what size I'm allowed to have in the town. I'm flexible with.
Where's the sign going?
It's on the front of the wall.
On the lawn.
On her size, there we go.
So on the lawn in front of the business.
Yes.
So down around the corner where DNC used to be down in there.
It's right next to their pumps. It's the house between the fire department and those pumps. So.
So according to
Temporary real estate sign. Go ahead.
This is 317.02. So that's in mixed use zones. A directory sign can't exceed 4 square feet.
Okay.
A freestanding sign, like if you have a sign on the side of the building, can't exceed 100 square feet. And then 317.03, the sign,
It's a freestanding sign.
which is a property, so 317.06,
Maybe 100 square.
it can't pair public safety. So it's not gonna
I
have
haven't
a
need to read
sidewalk, right? Okay. It can't restrict clear vision, so it's gonna be far enough away that people can see, okay? Can't be confused with any traffic sign, so it's not gonna be triangle or octagon shape, no, okay. Can't prevent access to any door, window, or fire escape. That won't be an issue, right? And it can't be placed in any right of way, which you're stating none of that's going to occur.
No.
There is a question of, isn't this a check supposed to accompany the permit, right?
Yes, so I emailed her and told her what it was $295 and it just needs to be filed with Kristen. So and then I'll issue your permit. So.
Okay.
Do we also have a permit for a change of use?
That's.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
all on that
it's-
same
it's
one.
change
It
of
just
use
one
on site.
permit.
So it's like flood work and stuff like that? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, they're just using that as an office, like the
So is there
main
any,
building.
is there, other than,
No.
who will get his permit once the check arrives? Right?
Once you got, you guys, I mean,
Is there
otherwise
any
they're
questions? Do we
fine.
have any issues?
No, I don't.
I move that we approve.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay.
Thank you. Sign that for me.
Sorry, bud.
Did you get all of these?
Because it hasn't paid yet.
No,
Now, where's
in
the?
lieu of payment.
Okay.
Hey,
That's what I was gonna say.
In lieu of
Hey,
payment.
can you,
Yeah, yeah.
I need you to sign this. sorry, and then it's done.
What's
And
up with the
hey,
golf
these
course?
2 months are over.
They wanna subdivide 2 acres.
Where are they? Aren't they supposed to be here?
They weren't here last time either. That's why we tabled it.
I thought we,
No,
approved that. Oh,
the what, yeah, we did,
We
that's
approved
already
that.
done.
So it's
So
because it didn't need a hearing.
It was my
So did they
goof.
know that before Friday?
It was my goof.
Yeah, it was kind of that.
And
Let's take care of it.
So
Okay.
yes.
She
it's-
called me and I said, well.
So we have nothing more to discuss, we have no more business.
No, we got, it says town plan and hazard mitigation plan.
And I
okay.
gave you copies
I mean,
of the
to
town
do with-
plan
to do
and
with- yeah,
what
yeah.
needs to be done on that.
Alright.
There's those. You want those?
Why?
Or no, you don't need, you
I
don't
have
want
to,
those.
whether I want them or not.
Give me this one.
Alright,
Slide
so,
them underneath the window.
And so the town plan, and then this is Jeff's email, that just clarifies what he just notes out,
alright, okay.
what is his
People
5
think that if
pages.
they yell, it's gonna get.
So we're viewing the town.
I wonder if I almost heard it here first. No, he seemed like he was hard of hearing. He heard everybody.
You heard
said. Yeah.
Who was hard
Yeah, he was
here?
fine. No, what's his face? Because he was yelling, but yeah, no, he's not
No,
hard
it's
of
just
hearing.
that's the way it
Yeah.
just we speak.
So my
We
recommendation,
don't have much else other than boring stuff in case you need to get home or something, just let you know.
I know that with the Newport meetings, we have to stay from.
It's up to you.
No, we just-
So I think
Yeah,
I'd
why
rather
not?
be safe than
Yeah,
sorry.
feel free. We're gonna talk about the town plan.
No
so-
worries, no
Yeah.
worries. I know that, years ago, your predecessor, NEK-TV.
NEK-TV.
It's a Newport public
Yeah.
access.
Well, we used to
Brett
have
would
our,
like a close-up.
we used to have our select board meetings, once all the action happened and we got into boring stuff, they would leave. So that's why I was just.
Yeah, the meeting's done. This is
No, we
just
well, the meeting
bylaws.
is.
Well,
Anyway, it's up
Yeah,
to
you're
you.
good. Adjourn, yeah,
Yes,
It's been adjourned.
yes. The
No,
No.
the hearing was adjourned.
The hearing was not the
adjourned.
meeting,
not the meeting.
not the meeting itself.
But,
And I have to stay.
yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
perfectly
No,
fine.
you're good.
Really.
No, we just wanna make sure you.
Oh,
So-
I'm alright. It's my job.
So my recommendation for the town plan
Yeah.
items is for people to look over the packet and for us to discuss it at our first meeting in November.
Oh, okay, that sounds good. Yeah,
That's my recommendation.
That's a very good
that's
recommendation.
an excellent
I
idea.
like that
Is there a
recommendation.
second on that?
I second that recommendation.
All
Oh,
in favor?
and-
Oh,
Aye.
hold on.
Oh, go ahead.
All in
No,
favor?
what are you gonna say?
No, not
Aye.
about that, not about, I interrupted it.
Motion carries.
Perfect.
So for the hazard mitigation
We
plan,
just, you guys need to approve it,
I think we need to make a motion to approve.
that's it.
So
I make a
moved.
motion, we approve it.
So moved. I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
So I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned at
Boy, the end of the
7
meeting was a
o'clock.
lot easier.